I had a friend who was a Barca fan and he switched to being a Liverpool fan.
My G.
Is it ever okay to switch the team that you support?
No. But
No. There can't be a but. I was waiting for you to no. Look at me so I can also be like no. You can't follow that with a but. That's crazy. No.
okay,
Listen.
here's what I'll say. I don't think you can, but I think it is okay to maybe watch a little bit less, and now I'm going to defer to the pained Manchester United fan on my left.
Yo, John, was there ever a time where you were just like, yo, Manchester United is giving me so much heartache right now? Like, I don't know, bro. I might have to explore my options.
Hell no. Hell no. I'm about to blow this audio. Hell no. No way. That is crazy. Y'all must be out of your damn minds to think that. That has never once crossed my mind in the slightest.
Oh my God.
Slightest. No way.
Okay, but seriously though, dude, the amount of pain you must be going through at the moment.
Yeah.
How are you still smiling?
Even making the content every day, like, you know what I'm saying, when a club's not doing well, and you kind of got to talk about the bad as much as the good, right?
Dude, and there's so much toxicity.
Yeah,
around
like, what do you
everything
do?
as well.
How do you manage that?
How are you, good vibes, John?
Yeah.
I've been
Not
doing
Life sucks, John.
I've been doing content for about 11 years now.
Okay.
This has been one of the toughest moments as a football fan. Obviously, over the years, I've changed and matured and sort of gotten older, and it feels a lot more. I feel more responsibility in terms of how I carry myself in front of the camera, especially when I talk about my club. But there's no way on God's green earth you can hide the level of the difficulties and the sadness and the challenges we've had to face. I can criticize, I can call things out, but don't go past that. That's been so important for me. And it's been harder because when things are going bad, fans want to hear, yo, this is like, what the, like, that's what fans want to hear. They want to see that expression of anger. But it's been harder for me to do that because I feel so much pain that I don't think it adds to the benefit of my fan base. I want to contribute to the health of it. I don't want to contribute to the bad addiction of it. You know what I'm saying? And you were asking about, have I ever felt this
Level of pain.
right? Like, no, but it's like, that's what it means to be a football fan, man. You know what I'm saying? Once you pick it, you go with it. You know, for overseas fans like ourselves who don't have a geographic connection to the club. If I'm not born in Manchester, my parents didn't support Manchester. It's not been like that.
Right.
But for me, I developed and created and forged this bond with this club over many years. That doesn't just go away overnight.
How do you not get on camera to your, 95K on Instagram or whatever, and go like, Glazers out,
No, I mean,
Sir Jim.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I never yell. I used to be known for yelling and screaming, you know. But I think there's a line to sort of, for me, I will never call out people and say this is wrong, whatever, because that's just the way they express their content. I mean, people that yell in front of camera, that's cool. I have no problem with that because I also think that there is a space where fan content should have people like that, as long as they don't cross that line.
Okay.
You know, I always talk about criticism, the line, and abuse. For me, as long as you don't cross that line, that's okay with me. You do you got to do what you got to do. And there's a fan base and there's fans that support that. I just choose not to do it because I think there's already enough of that going on.
Amarim in or out?
Without a doubt.
Do you guys think it's ever okay to switch club loyalty? Like, I had a friend who was a Barca fan and he switched to being a Liverpool fan.
My G.
Welcome you know
to the club, bro.
You know, two totally different countries, but he switched allegiances.
No,
How do you feel about that?
That's crazy. I would never do that. So to be fair, I grew up closer to Aston Villa's ground than I did to Liverpool's. So I was like bequeathed Liverpool fanship at birth, but I'll always have a bit of a soft spot for Aston Villa just because I went to their games, that kind of thing. So I think you're allowed to have like second loyalties.
You have your first club and then you have your soft spot.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So you have your main chick and your side. You know what I'm saying? That's how I
Right,
put it.
right. It's always about women, Raheem. But
Because
yeah,
I don't know, bro. It's the easiest thing for me to compare it to be fair. Because think about it.
Respectfully.
A relationship with a club is like till death do you part, bro. That is a marriage. With Arsenal, that's a marriage, bro.
Bars.
Like when I went on that trial with Arsenal, I was 14. I said, yo, we're locked in for life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
I might support a little Philadelphia Union on the side. You know what I'm saying? I might support a little Real Madrid just because I like Vinny from time to time. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'm coming back home to my wife. I'm coming back home to Arsenal. I might have my little, you know what I'm saying, side thing on the side, but I'm coming back home to her. So Arsenal's my main.
Right, so if you ever are going on a date with Raheem, you should probably ask him about football clubs first to maybe get a sense of what kind of a guy he's going to be in a relationship, respectfully. I think I've never lost touch with Liverpool fandom ever, but there were times when I watched less.
What was a
Put it
time that
way.
you watched less of Liverpool where it was just like, bruh, this team is not doing it for me?
Early 2010s.
So that was the
So it's like when
Andy
you
Carroll
had,
era.
right? Exactly.
Yeah,
when you got
oh,
Steven
yeah.
Gerrard in midfield, and then you got Andy Carroll and like Jay Spearing and Stuart Downing, and
Jesus
you're like,
Christ, that team was terrible, bro. I'm not gonna lie though. I've seen some terrible Arsenal
right.
squad.
Well, that's the thing, right? And it's like Liverpool 14-15 the year after Gerrard.
Yeah.
And then they're poor for a couple of years until Klopp comes in, right? Like there are like, I don't know, fallow periods, right? Times where you're like, it's hard to be a fan of this team. But I would never switch allegiances altogether.
I've met so many football fans that are like, I support Man United and I also support Real Madrid. I don't think I am the judge, jury, executioner of football fans to be like, hey, you're not allowed to do that. You know? If you consume football that way, do you? You know what I'm saying? But for me, I can never do that. You were talking about watching Liverpool less. I've never ever experienced that, especially like the past 18 months. I walk into that game thinking, "Oh my God, we're gonna get pumped,"
And
but
you
I still watch it.
That's love. No
what
matter
I'm
how
saying?
much you hate her, you still love her.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I love it. Let me ask you guys something, because UK and US culture is completely different, like John said. Like in the UK, you're growing up with the game. Your grandpa is a fan of Manchester United since 1930, seen the Munich air disaster, brought it on to your dad, and now you're a Manchester United fan. In America, you kind of just spawn on a club, right? Like I feel like you're just like, oh snap, Tottenham's on the TV today, and I never watched soccer before, and you watch it like, okay, I'm gonna be a Tottenham fan. So like for American audiences and for American fans who aren't even really fans of football to begin with, do you guys think it's just imperative that people in America just even follow a team in general?
Yeah, honestly, and I used to hate the American origin story when you'd ask someone like, why do you support that club? I used to find that so f***ing annoying. But the whole point is that if you don't have a reference point, then sure. One of my best friends, I'm like, why are you a Chelsea fan, you glory hunting arsehole? Yeah. And he's like, I like Lukaku on FIFA in like 2012.
And that's how it goes. On God, bro.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's like another one. I'm like, why are you an Arsenal fan? He's like, well, I'm Danish, and Nicholas Bentner used to play for Arsenal. I'm like, Nicholas Bentner was ass. Yeah. He was terrible.
Lord Bentner, shout out my Lord.
Yeah, honestly, but that's the point. These are these origin stories, and these are these touch points, and that's honestly fine.
Yeah, I think it's changed. I think the gateways into football on a global stage, it's so different. You know, I met some Man United fans who told me that they became United fans because they were playing here in America on a preseason tour. The one I went to in 2016 in Chicago, Soldier Field, when they played against PSG in Chicago. We got pumped. Zlatan was still playing for PSG.
Jesus.
They were running us out the park. But there were American fans who only went to the Cubs games or the Bears games, whatever, and they just said, oh, United are in town. And then all of a sudden, now they love it. They love the energy. They love the atmosphere. Everybody's entryway is different. I met somebody that was a Middlesbrough fan because he played Football Manager as Middlesbrough. And he fell in love with the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the gateways and entryways are very different. And I don't think there's necessarily a right way or a wrong way to do it. I think it's changing more and more, especially fans in Europe are starting to realize that, oh my goodness, my club is so big, it's so global, they might not necessarily come into the team the way I did. And I think that's normal.
Let me ask you something. How do you guys feel about people who are coming to become fans of your club, but they're only fans because a player of theirs that they love went to that club?
See, that's very important. I want to talk about that because here in America, the idea of supporting just a player over a team is a lot more normalized here. A lot of fans here in NBA, NFL, they follow players rather than the teams itself. That idea of allegiance and loyalty is very, it's rare. It's more rare when we're comparing it to Europe.
That's one of those things that still annoys me. It's like, if you're a fan of a club, be a fan of a club. If you became a Ronaldo fan when he went to Real Madrid and Ronaldo leaves for Juventus, be a Real Madrid fan who can root for Juventus. Do you know what I mean? That would always be my argument.
Ronaldo goes to Al Nassr. Now people are wearing Al Nassr kits. Messi goes to Inter Miami. Everybody's wearing Inter Miami kits. Their following has skyrocketed. When these players leave these clubs, Inter Miami, Al Nassr, for example, what do you think is going to happen to their fan bases?
I think if we're just thinking from a general perspective, I think there will be maybe perhaps a decline in the viewership or the support. But thanks to people like Messi, thanks to people like Ronaldo at Al Nassr or Miami, there is going to be certain fans who will have developed that special connection, not with just the player, but with the club. Maybe if you were a Messi fan that lived in Texas and you got to go to Miami to watch Inter Miami, to watch Messi play for Inter Miami, maybe you still develop that connection, and even after he leaves, you still visit Miami to watch them play. You know, that's the beauty of having players like that. Players can be the gateways, whether they leave the club or not.
How does Inter Miami stay relevant past Messi?
Sign another global superstar.
Is that going to be the only route, though?
Yeah. Sign Neymar.
Actually, maybe Neymar. Actually, I do agree with that on Tom's point. I think right now at this phase, that's what you need to do. There are certain times where that's what you just got to do. You got to keep your head down and work. You got to take the L now for the bigger W later. So if signing another superstar that's maybe past his prime, if that's considered the quote unquote L, then you got to take the L now for the bigger W later.